Hi, my name is Parv, and I'm the founder of simplehang.com. We provide emotional support services to individuals who might not need a clinical solution necessarily, but just need someone to talk to or needs some holistic support. So emotional support can come in many forms, and we're providing one of them. And I'm talking with Novantum today. I started off in the hospitality industry, and then during COVID I actually shifted into construction. Started off at a junior position, worked my way up to a project manager. Over time, as I grew both personally and professionally, started to build upon my self-belief and confidence into doing the things I didn't think I could do. Any challenge that I did take, whether in the hospitality industry and moving up the ranks in there, or in the construction industry and then moving up in there, it just helped build up that belief that, hey, if I take up a challenge, I can excel at it. So eventually, after about 2 years into the construction industry, I pivoted into a different venture. The traditional path didn't look too appealing to me, and I knew I could do more, and I decided, why not take the risk and just go for it.
Did you ever try starting a business before Simple Hang? What made it hard to stick with or scale?
I didn't start a business, but I did join someone's existing business in the coffee industry, in the sustainable coffee industry. I was there for a couple of years, and there was great progress, a lot of challenges, of course. It's a small scale company, so it didn't have, a lot of people working for it. We had a team in India, and the vendors and the farmers and all that stuff, so a lot of supply chain. And again, this was a couple of years after COVID. We're still having the supply chain issues and everything like that. So I jumped into it, we made the best of it, got a few contracts, a lot of good connections, a lot of promotional things, big learning curve. But yeah, we made it work, and for a couple of years it was great. But then it was time for me to move on to something of my own, because again.
So what did you find overwhelming or confusing when you tried to figure it out on your own?
Just the sheer learning curve, if I'm speaking strictly about the previous business. Just learning about the industry, learning how to promote it, dealing with vendors and all that stuff. Yeah, but mostly promoting the business. The challenge wasn't getting the brand itself out there necessarily, it was more the messaging of the brand, because on the surface level it looked like a shiny brand like any other these days, but it had a purpose behind it. It was a sustainable company and all that stuff, and there's a lot that goes into producing the product that we produced, and just putting that into like a 10-15 second clip and just getting people's attention to that was the challenge.
If something like Novantum had existed back then, how could it have helped you?
It would have been a game changer for sure. It would have saved a lot of time, because a lot of the things that you do as an entrepreneur, it's things you're learning as you go, and things you're figuring out, making mistakes, and then pivoting, and then doing it better. A lot of the times you're one person, you're not an expert in all the roles that you have to do as an entrepreneur, and there are like a dozen plus roles you have, a dozen different hats you have to wear, especially at a small scale operation. A lot of different people's jobs as your own. So keeping all that organized, having the expertise in all of that, individual titles, it would have been helpful to have a support of someone who's done their research, someone who knows what they're doing, the guidance, so you're not wasting time making those mistakes and errors and learning from them and redoing things. So that would have saved a lot of time and a lot of effort and energy. It helps to keep a person on track too, and keep them motivated, because if you're constantly running into barriers or running into things that you're not fully aware of or have the knowledge of, kills your drive a little bit, but also a lot of time gets spent in that, where you could be spending the time refining your product or service or whatever that is that you're offering. So yeah, I think Novantum could have saved you a lot of time and the expertise that they have.
So what part of the program would have made the biggest difference in your journey, do you think?
I would say the marketing phase. I hold a lot of importance to the marketing side of things, because I can refine a product. Like I said, I can make the service or the product as good as I can, but the things I personally lack is marketing it to the right audience and the right message. Because when you're in something, it's hard to kind of see the bigger picture of things and know how people are perceiving it. So I think marketing and having those statistics of what works, what doesn't work, and instead of you just putting things out that you have to learn all that and the content creation side of things and all that, and testing the A/B testing, all that stuff. So if there's a marketing team dedicated doing that and things that are tested out, so that again saves you time, saves you a thing again where you can focus on the service itself and not the wearing the marketing hat necessarily, which you might not be the best at. I'm in the early stages of still building out my passion project, which is Simple Hang, providing affordable emotional support services to people who need it. And the biggest, I would say, lessons that I wish I had learned earlier was, again, communication. Communication in a business, especially when it comes to marketing your business, is a crucial part of it. Getting your message out there to the right audience and getting the right message in the right way, which will resonate with them, is very important. And especially now, if you go to college, get a marketing degree, it's still not going to be valid in the next 6 months because things are changing constantly. The platforms are changing constantly. The ways to promote everything, you have to keep up with so much. So it's something you're constantly learning. One of the biggest things is it's a consistent learning curve with marketing. So you have to kind of roll with the punches when it comes to that.
Would you recommend a program like Novantum, and why?
Absolutely. Because as an entrepreneur, you kind of, like I mentioned, you're playing a dozen different roles. You're wearing a lot of hats, and that can be overwhelming. And it would be foolish not to take the support when it's given to you, especially when it's as useful as something like what Novantum's offering. So if you have the option to have like a whole knowledge of entrepreneurship and business, plus at the end of that knowledge you get your own business built out for you and you own that business with proven strategies that Novantum is offering, I think it's a no-brainer, and I would have taken that opportunity in a heartbeat if I was just starting out a few years ago. Check us out at simplehang.com. We're an emotional support service there to provide you support that you need. So if you're not looking for a therapist and just need someone to talk to, we are there to be your listener. So go to simplehang.com and book your first hang for free today by using the code FREEHANG. simplehang.com. See you there.